It is episode 651 of the WCB podcast. We're here in beautiful New Windsor, Illinois. Eric, you're looking ravishing.
You are looking good yourself, my friend.
Holy shit, Doug's here.
Doug's here again.
All right.
Wait,
all right.
Doug, wait, Kurt,
I get it.
2 episodes in a row?
Gets a girlfriend, starts coming up missing. What do you do? Uh-oh. His mustache is getting too big for his britches. Lee Herr's in here.
Hello, everybody.
The cult leader.
Tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo loser.
Also, Doug's only here 2 in a row because we recorded on the same night.
Yeah, not.
Shut up, nerd.
Don't give him any credit. Laden Force is in here. What's up, brother?
Thanks for having us.
This is good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here in the studio.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this one. It's been nice listening to you guys over the years, and to have this opportunity for Mark and I to be joining you guys. It's real. It's legit. So
Mark Heck in the house.
Yeah, baby.
What's up, brother?
Just met you guys for the last hour at the bar.
Yeah, we had to go to not the bar, the depot.
My bad. My bad.
And that's how we break the ice, you know?
You guys have your own walkway to the bar or to the depot.
They paved it. They paved it.
we
for
sat
us.
down at the bar, and you had your cup coasters there on the bar. And I was
I'm like,
"Look,
they made
these guys- These guys are kind of popular here.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're cool. But not as cool as you guys.
No.
I got to say, first of all, the Give and Right, you guys are killing it. You guys got it going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys did some exciting shit. Just jumping right into it.
Where do you want to jump in at?
Dude, I don't know where to jump in.
Break it
man.
down.
It's I will say it's been a pleasure getting to hang out with you guys over dinner and a couple beers. Actually, we never ate dinner. We just drank some beers. Dinner's on
Dinner's on its way.
Yeah, it's on its way. Shout out to the
I
depot.
found dinner right here.
Pork chop in a can.
That's right.
But no, you guys are so awesome and down to earth and humble and considerate of what we're doing and everything. And I appreciate you guys coming to us to do this. I'm very thankful for it. We're all thankful for it.
100%.
It's a big deal for us to have you guys here. So you know,
It's part of the experience, though, man. That's part of it. You got to be here in the studio with you guys. I mean, you're not doing it if you're not doing it that way. That's
thank
all it
you.
is to
That's
it.
why we built this place, right?
Yep.
It's a lot of people want to do Zoom calls and whatever, and sometimes it's more convenient, but we put effort and blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of money we don't have into this place to make it what it is.
Stories I've heard. I'm not sure that money thing is true.
Yeah, he's like, keep crying, bitch.
$1 million bow hunters.
Yeah, $100,000 bow hunter is what they call it.
Change the name to this whole podcast.
Yeah, $100,000 bow hunter.
I can't even afford to pay attention, you know what I mean?
No, it's just what it is.
It is what it is.
But you guys have been up to some pretty cool stuff. There's been a lot of buzz about you guys on the internet the last month.
Yeah, last month or so, early April. Yeah, some dude on our team, managed to check a box on his list of life goals, but it just so happened that it had a little more importance than that, and seems that some other people think so as well.
So let's talk about it, though. Okay, so obviously you're from PA.
Southwestern Pennsylvania.
Okay, that might not be obvious. I know you're from PA.
Okay.
And so from a guy from PA to going to Kodiak and killing a brown bear with your bow.
You don't have enough time.
How,
I'm just telling you, you don't have enough time. Where do you want to start?
so where does the thought of hunting Kodiak brown bears with your bow enter your brain as a kid from Western PA?
When I was a kid from Western Pennsylvania.
You thought about it then, that far?
Not exactly the brown bear,
Yeah.
but hunting. We grew up hunting. The whole family hunted. There wasn't a person in our family that didn't hunt.
Yeah.
That's what was part of our DNA, I guess, from back there. So, yeah, so it's always been there. Just where were you going to go with it and how are you going to get there is the story, right?
Yeah. So what along the lines, when you get to the point you're like, all right, I'm able to do this and career field or whatever, or planning, or where does it all fall into line?
We've had a couple drinks. We're going to need another half a bottle of probably Crown.
Get out the plans.
We got that. We got plans. We got whatever you want.
We're working class bow hunter, but we got plans.
This obviously, it would be more organized if we'd have talked about it a little bit, but we'll start right there.
Yeah.
In other words, I grew up Southwestern Pennsylvania. Played 3 sports, wrestled, played baseball, football, so on and so forth. But always hunting and outdoors fishing. Actually, fishing was one of my most prized, times out in the outdoors was fishing. And I grew up very similar to Huck Finn. Very corny. I mean, obviously in Southwestern Pennsylvania, not out in the Midwest where Huck Finn, but I grew up on a mountain. My uncle owned a farm, and straight down the mountain was the Youghiogheny River. So I had a motocross bike, a 22, and a fishing pole. Life was good.
Life was good.
We would leave on Friday. We'd leave on Friday afternoons, pack our little knapsacks and stuff in a sleeping bag, and we sleep right next to the train tracks on the river. And that's what we did. Our parents had no clue where we were. They knew what we were doing, but no clue where we were. Come back Sunday night, start it all over again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So all right.
Times were different, weren't they?
Yeah.
They can't do that now.
So that's just a little bit about, the actual growing up experience. I could tell you all kinds of stories about, we made our own slingshots. We had, I don't know if you've ever been hit in the forehead with a green grape from a slingshot before.
No, never have.
It'll knock you out. Rednecks.
Yes.
That's what we did.
Yeah, hill country.
But we grew up very, I say, meager means. My parents probably never made more than $25,000 combined income in a year. But we learned great work ethic. We couldn't go fishing until I...
Got the chores done.
Yeah.
Chores. Exactly that. Weeded the garden, go help my uncle on the farm. And that's kind of where those deep-rooted, I guess, characteristics / work ethics come from.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I know you're a successful guy. You got your hand in a lot of different stuff. You say you're half retired, semi-retired.
Semi-retired.
Semi.
That's one air quote.
And
Yeah.
if my wife's watching, you didn't hear that.
Listen, you know how many ladies are actually watching the WCB podcast?
None.
One.
Like 4.
There's a couple. There's a few.
And they're all because they want to see a tattoo
Well,
on
I
your
have a
ass.
girlfriend now, so
Thanks to Doug,
Doug's
we have
off the
4
market.
women listeners.
I have a girlfriend now, so they fell off a little bit.
It was 10 last week, but now 4.
Yeah, 4. They're less interested, but they're out there. They're out there. What's up, ladies? Hit us up if you want to be on the show. But anyway, enough about the ladies. We're gonna have a ladies' night one of these days. But
That would be scary. Just know you guys for 2 hours.
oh, dude, they come in and just smell the place and leave. You know?
They see a giraffe and then leave.
A lot of comments. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go there.
Yeah, well, we're cool, but we're not that cool. We'll ruin a ladies'
No, you're
vibe
not.
real fast. But no, I love like the upbringing stuff, like PA. Of course, it's a heavy hunting culture in Pennsylvania.
Oh, man.
The work ethic obviously kind of it shows, and just knowing about you and hanging out with you, you can kind of see that. I think that's important to have that work ethic. But that work ethic also applies to hunting like a ton of different ways. Like if you're a lazy person, you're not going to be a successful hunter.
Right.
100%.
It bleeds over.
Yep.
It's just with whitetails to whatever you're doing.
Specifically whitetails.
So, whitetails will expose you.
Public hunting whitetails back in that day, I'm talking, I'm 62 years old, I'm talking 40, 50 years ago, with homemade tree stands, homemade climbers, because I couldn't afford to buy one. I'm serious. We made our own.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dangerous?
Well, that didn't work.
Yeah. And my first, was a whitetail hunter, cracked limb.
Yeah.
I duct taped it. I'm not kidding. I duct taped it. None of the arrows were straight. They were,
Yeah.
You made it work.
XX75 autumn oranges. I never killed a thing.
It's a thought that counts.
You're close
But
though.
we worked at it. It was just in our blood, and it gets deep into there, and you just can't get it out of your soul. It's just always thinking that.
It's ingrained in you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
exactly right.
Ingrained.
And then you play 3 sports, and you're like, you got to compete. What am I going to do? Should I continue to do this, or do I? So I quit baseball my senior year, which everybody was like, "What do you?" I said, "I want to ride my motocross bike. I want to go hunting. I want to go fishing.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend all spring out on a baseball field, right?"
Yeah.
So went into wrestling at that point in time. When I say went into it, wrestling was probably my premier sport. Mm-hmm. And I did go to the States, did pretty good. Nothing spectacular, didn't do too well at the States, but I had wrestling scholarships, and I passed on all them, and kind of just said, I want to hunt. I want to fish. Well, found out, sooner than later that doesn't pay the bills.
They don't have a scholarship for that. Or they did.
They do now.
They do now, yeah.
They do now. Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's a ripoff. They have that now.
I went to school for a week, came back. I just wasn't prepared. I was genuinely just not prepared.
Yeah.
And my parents are true, just solid earth. Just I know it's corny, but they're just blessed people. But they just didn't know how to prepare me for college, drinking, cursing. I grew up Baptist. We didn't curse. We didn't go to dances. We didn't do any of that. We went to church 4 times a week.
Women.
Women, yeah.
Hey, God bless them.
I wasn't going to touch
At
that.
the age of 18. At the age of 18.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I went to college for a week and was like, I need to go back home. And
And
I
that's,
just,
that's why I didn't go to college.
Yeah, too much
said something
exposure.
different earlier. So somebody wouldn't allow you in. I don't know.
Yeah, your own brain.
100%.
So I started
That's what it was.
Hey, my
Can't
bad.
afford to pay attention.
What could you do?
Yeah. Somebody wouldn't allow me. Yeah, myself. I'm dumb.
I got my own way.
Yeah. It's an accident. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay.
But we had that deep down in. I wanted to do something, and I never felt that any job that I got was fulfilling. Right? It was one of those things. I saw my boss with a Cadillac. I can't afford a Cadillac. How come he can? And you regretted that, and so you kind of just got angry at them for some unknown reason.
Angry for motivation.
And
essentially, is like-
I found out that I had that motivation, and I had the ability to actually go make money. So I after about 3 or 4 years, played semi-pro softball for Budweiser.
Nice. My God.
Either good or bad. Which way
It was really good.
As a Catholic guy, you're like, hey, I'm playing for booze.
And we lost that sponsorship, and guess who what next sponsorship was? Coors Light.
Miller came right over here after that.
Hey,
Just waiting.
hey, hold my beer.
So life was good.
Yeah,
20
yeah.
years old, playing semi-pro softball, making some money. I had a nice Z280, 280ZX. So life was good. But realized I needed more.
Yeah.
So I sold everything. I went back to school. And long story short, I met a couple of girls that I graduated college with at a bar, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And they said that they were
Like a good Baptist. Like a good Baptist.
yes.
Yeah, yes.
And they said that they were having a
Bible study.
Bible study
Yes.
at the college, which they were, actually having a bunch of schools there. And hey, what do you want to do with your life? So I said, I'll meet you down there. What time's it over? And they said 3:00. I got there at 2:30. I said, we're going drinking, right? But the first booth that I walked into, it was a nursing booth. They're not dumb. They had 3 or 4 of the most beautiful blonde girls standing there passing out pamphlets. Please become a nurse.
Hey,
Client service.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Just jigging.
I love you. I love
Please
you.
become a nurse.
Yeah.
Hook, line, sinker.
21 years old. I'm like, nursing? Sure. I walked out there. I signed up for school.
No shit.
Quit my job, sold my car, became a nurse. Well, I went to nursing school. Right? It was an accelerated program. I thought this through.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
overnight. I thought it through.
Yeah.
56 girls, 2 guys.
Good odds.
2.5 years. Thank you. 2.5 years.
It's a good management program.
Wait, hold on. I'm not good at math, but great eyes.
2.5 year program, accelerated program, 8 hours a day, every day. And I would come out with a guaranteed job, making more money than my parents ever made in a 2 or 3 year period. So I did it.
It's looking good.
No brainer.
So I get there. I'm there for about 3 weeks.
How many girls did you slay in 3?
Answer the tough
I'm
question.
looking at my wife, and I'm not saying a word.
Sorry I asked.
Right out of the gate.
I'm going to take a drink on that one.
Okay.
5.
Hey.
More.
All right.
Every night.
Sorry.
Say
Can't
when.
blame me for asking a fun
Tell us
question.
When, yeah, tell us when to stop.
Hey, I'm the host.
Say when.
If I get too serious, I'll stop. All right, so I'll try to make it quick. But so 2-3 weeks later, the wrestling coach, a guy that I knew, he taps me on the shoulder, says, "Hey, Mark, I really could, you want to wrestle?" I'm like, "No, I go to school 8 hours a day. I can't. It's going to be hard enough for me to pass this as it is." Long story short, he had a 190-pounder that was a national champ, and he just needed somebody to spar with him. He didn't even really need me to wrestle on the team, just come and spar with the guy every day. I said, "What are you going to pay?" He said, "No scholarship." I said, because I was putting myself through school. He ultimately paid for a room, board, books, and gave me a job.
Bingo.
Gave me a job at a bar. How could life get any
Back in it, baby.
Circle it back around.
God, just,
I didn't have a walkway like you guys did.
yeah.
It sounds like it.
They gave
Close.
us
Better one.
Let
Oh,
me guess, you were a bouncer.
How'd you know?
I'm serious. I
It wasn't that hard.
In college too, but I'm a hell of a lot smaller than you.
So he goes, well, we don't really have a room for you. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have a room? We have a wrestling house. He says, we have a basement. So I took a basement, renovated the basement myself. Again, my parents come down, God bless them, and so on and so forth. My first day at the job, he had owned a bar. He says, you can be the doorman. I met my wife. First day.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was dating a second baseman. It wasn't that hard.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No pun intended, but just...
I really want to make a
took you a
stealing home
second
joke.
over there. How many crowns have you had?
She was
I
in the
didn't go to
management.
college, remember? I'm a little slow.
There's a stealing home joke in there somewhere.
Love that. Love that.
So it is a true cool ass story, So I met my wife at the bar there.
Yeah.
I finished college as soon as nursing. I was the only nurse that ever wrestled there.
Yeah, I bet. And still, yeah.
I actually went to a couple tournaments, did really, really well. Broke my foot, So short wrestling career in college, and at that stage, then we got married. I kept her. She was from Jersey. Okay,
I kept her.
Jersey short girl. I kept her in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Keep a Jersey girl in Pennsylvania, but
Forget about it.
yeah, and, you got it. High hair, just gorgeous. Blue eyes, blonde hair, whole story. And her dad owned a small trucking company, so we'd gone out for vacation. And while on vacation, it rained for the 3 or 4 days. He goes, "Hey, you want to come to me? Come with me down to work at the Philadelphia Produce Market. I don't know if you've ever been in South Philly before.
I never have been, no.
A redneck from Pennsylvania in South Philly. Anyway, he had to collect money, and he was collecting cash. And I was like,
That's why he took you with.
That's why he took me with. It wasn't because he liked me.
Because you're a giant human being.
And I
You
had
just you headhunted cash out of people?
yeah. So I had his wife that's now pregnant with his first granddaughter out in Pennsylvania. So long story short, he's a good Irishman, probably part of the Irish mob. Now
Probably.
I come to think of it, collecting cash in the Philadelphia Produce Market. We drive home. We stop about 6 bars. He goes, I'd really like to get my daughter out here. I see that you want to do something more than just be a nurse. I said, yes, I do. And he says, I got some ideas about some businesses we can do. And he was in transportation. And I said, I don't know about moving out here. I said, I just don't know if I could do it.
Some businesses.
Yeah. And it's true transportation. I'm talking, tractor trailers on the railroad, the whole works. And so about 6 months later, I called him up and I said, can I come out and talk to you? He goes, really? I said, yes. So long story short, he had a small trucking company, and I started a company that actually repaired and maintained these trucks. Actually, the traders that you would know that comes on the trains and or on the containers that come on the vessels cross country, globally.
Yep.
And I started off just me, $2,000 Ranger truck, an old power washer, started cleaning trucks, started repairing them, so on and so forth, started changing mud flaps, and it just started growing. I was probably one of the few people in South Philly that really would work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And it worked out so well. Did it in New York, did it in Chicago, did it in LA, and then eventually just kept growing into basically a global company.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Started from scratch. All,
Just hustle.
Just hustle.
Pure hustle.
That's
A
inspiring.
lot of common sense, right? So eventually, I couldn't do all this, I want to say manually. We'd be taking containers from LA to go through Chicago or Berlin, New Mexico, or wherever it would go through El Paso, and then into New York, and I'd manually just monitor those and then give all that information back to the customer. So I come up with this idea can I do this remotely? I stole the idea. It's called OnStar. If OnStar can talk to a car, why can't I talk to a container?
Yeah.
Right.
They have microprocessors.
Yeah.
So I came up with the idea to build a device that can talk to a container. And currently, I sold that company to a company that I probably shouldn't say. I sold that company, but that was just the technology division. And currently, I manage every refrigerated container, not every, bad word, majority of refrigerated containers and trailers that move in the world. We're probably, if not number
Still
one.
right now.
Right now.
Wow.
If not number one, we're probably number two. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hold on. Where's that button?
This is why I didn't want to do a podcast.
That's cold.
Hey, you know what? You're rich.
Does it sound like I'm bragging? See, that's
No,
why-
no,
not at
no.
all.
It doesn't sound like you're bragging because you didn't just come in and say, "Yeah, I own all the refrigerator." No,
You came from
I
nothing.
don't own.
You did it yourself.
Here's the thing. It's like the conversation at dinner. It's the same conversation we had with Jimmy John. Everyone can look at Jimmy John now. Everyone. Some people. All right, let me rephrase it. Fucking haters look at Jimmy John now and go, "Oh, it must be nice. If I was a billionaire." Well, you don't know when Jimmy John was working. It smells like salami meat and didn't get any pussy for years because he smelled like an old sandwich.
I want to say this stuff, but I just can't.
That's why we say it.
That's what we're here for.
That's why we say it. But you know what I mean? Now that Jimmy John did the hustle, he did the dance, he put in the work. Now, does a lot of luck play into it? Of course it does. But it doesn't play into if he had
But a lot more
no
hard
work
work.
ethic and luck, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
100%.
Hard work,
Dude.
luck, and just good timing and
You have talked to my wife
Luck
because,
is-
and I know I brought her into this a bunch, and I don't mean it that way, but just
Bless her heart.
I tell her, I say, people ask you, we're just on vacation, right? And you get drinking around the bar, and you're in the pool bar and whatever.
Yeah.
People say, "Wow, that's incredible." And I say, "It's just luck." And my wife like kicks me. She's like, "It's not luck," but it is. I'm telling you,
part of it's luck.
Yeah.
Part of it's luck.
And that saying is so corny again. We'll use that again. You make your own luck is so true.
It's true.
Yeah, I didn't smell like pastrami. But I smelled like rotten watermelons. Did you ever open up a trader of rotten watermelons? First off,
I never have.
it's deadly. It is no, it's noxious. The gases are
watermelons?
actually poisonous.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
real.
Melons are dangerous.
So I would take 3 days to clean out one watermelon trailer. And I was working by myself. So anyway,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
ultimately got to the point where I had this idea. If OnStar can do it, I can do it. And I was competing against a major telecom company. And I ultimately couldn't beat them. Just couldn't. They're global. If I burned down a container with 30 guys on it, how am I going to be insured, right?
Right.
So one of the container companies said, you need to team up with them. And they would just ate my lunch if I would.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to know I can't. I got to stay on my own.
Yeah.
So what I did was come up with an idea of saying, I will sell you or give you the hardware for free, but give me a 3-year subscription. And I beat them on 6 straight consecutive. They had to buy me.
Hell yeah.
They don't know this.
They didn't have a choice.
And I'm going to tell you something that probably only a few people know. I was within 2 months of going bankrupt
No kidding.
because I had millions of dollars that I didn't have invested in that company. But I just wouldn't give up. Same with the deer. I'm telling you right now, I won't give up on it. I'll go weeks and weeks and hours and hours. But nobody knew that.
You just bet on yourself.
Yeah, I will not bet on anybody else.
I love that, man.
Last game.
That's inspiring.
That is some good one.
Fucking
So that's kind of how the first go round went of success. My wife again asks, "How do you measure success?" She goes, "So I don't do a business. I'm a stay-at-home wife. I raised 3 beautiful children. Am I not successful?" You want to talk about answering that question? How would you answer it?
It's success is how you gauge in what you're doing.
Well, that's not a good answer to tell your wife when she asks you that. You know, telling you right now, you just got your ass kicked.
You're a beautiful angel.
And that doesn't work either. She's smart.
You say you're damn straight. You're succful.
Well, okay,
Right. She knows you're lying.
But she wants to hear why.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
Yeah, you all stopped, right?
Well, shit. Hey,
that 3-letter word.
Hey, we're all fucked in that.
I was too that night.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love it.
Hey.
Dude, I was like,
So
damn.
that gives us
Gotta
a good
clean your own
understanding of like.
containers.
So sorry, I didn't want to go too long, but I got to give you some.
No,
background.
I love it, and I think that gives a good gauge of like your success in the hunting industry and like companies that you have ownership in and are affiliated with, and companies you represent, and brands you use, and company and products you use. Especially you watch you on YouTube on this current latest film, which we're getting. This is what we're building up to, right? It gives us a good understanding of it, and it gives a good background and a respect and a foundation, I think, for the listener. And that's what I wanted Jimmy John to do when he was in here. And anything like when Waddell first did our show, or anybody that's is looked at as successful, I don't want people to forget the hard work to the success because
The background.
Yeah, you know, and we've talked about that a lot. We don't need to keep
Dude,
repeating this,
I
but-
appreciate that more than you know, because
Yeah.
you guys heard me at dinner as honest and as straightforward as I can be. I don't want to be perceived as being cocky, right?
yeah, I don't think at all.
But people a lot of times will tell you, oh, you forgot where you came from. No, I didn't forget where I came from. It's with me every day. It's part of me.
Every day.
It's who you are.
It's who I am.
It hasn't gone away. As an employee of his, it hadn't gone away.
But from what
No.
you built,
He signs your paychecks, though.
Yeah, he does. We did talk about that. Now, I'm glad, like we talked about at dinner, I'm glad to hear him talk about it, because that's the thing. Like you said, there's this misassociation with success. Like, man, this country's founded on hard work and
Yeah.
success and having 3 little kids at home that his wife's taking care of. Like, we can all relate to that. You
yeah.
know? We've all been there, and it doesn't matter. Like you said, measure success in the way that you want to, but knowing that it has to come from hard work and it has to come within, and whether it's your career or your habit, and bow hunting being the case for most of us, that is the case. And man, it transposes from career right into personal life. And very few times have I seen in this industry, working for some of the companies and with some of the companies I've had the opportunity to work with, a guy in his position that's still invested at his level, you know, and it's rare and it's unique. So I appreciate you guys giving him an opportunity to speak to that, because man, he's one of us.
Yeah. For sure. Well, you know what I think, bouncing off that, and then I want to talk about this bear.
Yeah.
He really wants to get to this bear
dude, I'm-
thing. doesn't
you
he?
don't understand.
It's an animal. It's
Jacked up. I think I was more jacked up than you were than the watching. But
No, I was jacked up.
I know. But one thing, it's like what's inspiring about being around guys like you.
Is that the sign for beer? I'm so sorry to do it.
because he rolls
No,
it.
that's what we
for
do.
a
Watch
bear.
this. Wait, let's take a moment.
That's
Watch this
very
beer.
rare. It looks like
because
you
he-
guys are experienced at this. I'm sorry.
It's not their first rodeo.
This ain't the first beer we rolled across the
So,
table.
I see you didn't slide it this way because you couldn't get it on the edge all the time, so you rolled it.
Mark, this is episode 651. We've drank a stupid amount of fucking beers on this podcast, brother.
We drank a stupid amount of beer just a while ago.
You're our
Sorry.
people. You're our people.
Not my fault. Don't blame me for that.
What I'm getting to, and then we're talking bears, is like all of that being said, and like what you just said, Layden, is like you watch someone in their 60s, and even then, like we're surrounded by guys like Mark Jury. We're thankful, you know, and Waddell, and you know Jimmy John comes in, and you come in, and we see. This is a compliment. I don't want to take it as the elders of our industry,
Right.
And you see that they're still passionate about it.
Yeah.
And what it does is it reinsures in me that, like, part of the reason why I talk to dinner is like I'm tattooing my entire body to ensure that I never do nothing but hunting industry
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
I'm like locking myself into it.
Yeah.
And I'm so passionate about it that like
I don't have a tattoo, dude.
hey, I'm forcing myself to
Neither
have,
does Doug
Yeah,
until 2 weeks from now.
yeah. I'm forcing myself to have no other opportunity but this.
Yeah.
So, but it's a comfort feeling watching someone of your age and Mark's age and other guys. I mean, it goes on Cuz Strickland and it keeps going. You know,
Yeah.
of how passionate they still are. But then you talk to a dude who, you know, by his own means, you know, was whatever he did for a living. Most of those guys, whatever they're doing, they're exhausted and they don't have the twinkle in their eye and whatever. And you're like, you aren't passionate about what you do, but I don't blame them.
They can't fucking wait to retire.
They can't wait to retire.
And you're semi-retired and still working 60 hours a week.
Listen, I got no retirement. I'm thinking to die doing this. So what I'm getting at is it's just inspiring, you know,
yeah,
and that's like the Chase
100%.
Nation boys that were here tonight and still are here. It's like they love what they do. They're gonna die doing this
Yeah.
with energy.
That grit, the
No matter
grind.
what they're doing, they're gonna keep doing it.
I want to die doing this.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I want you
or
to
a grizzly
see the-
bear kills me. Whatever, that's cool too.
People say you get so excited, you get loud. I said it's passion.
yeah,
And,
is.
and without that, I have beautiful grandchildren, a beautiful family, beautiful life, obviously. But without that passion, yeah, it's part of your soul. It's gone.
you need it.
You have to have it. It doesn't have to be just hunting, but whether it's business or
anything.
whatever, but you need passion that when you talk about something, you light up.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, dude, if you knit rainbow flags for a living, you fucking love it. I'm for you, brother.
Dude, yeah.
Just don't wave them in my
away.
face. Just kidding.
away.
Sorry, I had to drop my thing. But
Yeah, chase it, man. Like have that passion and follow it too. That's a big thing about it. Like a lot of people have passion, and I think that, you know, we've all been blessed in the facet that we've had an opportunity to go follow that passion a little bit and then be successful because you got that twinkle in your eye and that ambition, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't ever step into that zone of their life, and having the ability to do that or the awareness to do it, man, even if you luck into it, if luck comes along.
Most people are scared.
That's the only zone I have, I think.
Yeah.
I'm again not trying to just be, but that's the only zone I have. It's like when I get going on something, whether it be business or whether it be, just how long did I talk about my grandchildren?
Yeah. Right.
Today, it's kind of either that, it's either on or off. There's no in between.
I love it. I think everyone here can relate. I think a lot of listeners can relate too.
So we can get to this bear or not?
Let's talk about this damn bear. This little cup. All right, by the way,
At this point, does this bear even matter?
No, I don't think so. We shot a bear. It's cool. It's big. It's like, we do that a lot.
we sent a picture to Waddell at dinner with all of us flipping him off. We said, about to podcast at the studio, you're fucked. And then he said, that's a gay enough crew for sure. And he said, you'll have fun. Tell Mark one day he'll get a big bear.
You'll get there.
Waddy is just one of those solid. You talk about Mark Drury, and we talked a little bit about him. And I'm not the closest with him, but I can tell you if I text him right now, as popular as he is, he'll call me.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people you want to deal with.
Surround yourself with.
And those are why they're up there.
Yeah.
And other people, are not so up there.
Yeah. Well, it's I can list 1,000 examples.
Well, I can too. I can tell you one for now. When we were Waddell, I forget where we were, and we were going down a one-way street the wrong way. He and I in the truck, and
love that.
Somebody yelled at him and stopped him, and they came over and they looked. Ain't you that hunting guy? we sat 20 minutes on the wrong way, street, talking to those people. We could have got arrested. I don't,
The guy was a cop.
Good possibility. But he gives back. They just give back.
I thought for sure you were going to say, weren't you that guy on the Waffle House menu?
I'm not touching that one.
I just told him,
That was a good time for you.
I said, I read that on record. He said, awesome. All right, let's talk about this bear because the video, Monsters of Kodiak, presented by Sigsar, potential world record archery Kodiak bear. We'll link it in the episode description. Go watch this video on YouTube, please.
Beautiful.
It is fucking wild.
It's wild.
It's dope. The adventure that you capture and what this hunt was, like flying in on the bush plane, landing in a lake, like all this stuff is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Seriously. I mean, it's a good video. Don't get me wrong. But you see a lot of these like this.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Okay.
All
right. See,
so
now this is what my mentality. You're getting a little
don't see
taste.
I'll make sure you guys get your $5 bills.
You're getting a taste of the way
under the table.
So this is where. So I am the watch this kind of shit guy of the group.
He's the Rain Man Media.
He's the nerd.
He's our publicist.
I'm like
I
the
got that,
publicist
by
of
the
group.
way, so you didn't have to tell me.
I watch an insane amount of hunting content. I grew up with Josh Sparks with Midwest Whitetail, so like I'm really in depth in it. And like I notice things that most people don't notice, and like how this video is put together, and like the feels that it hits, and like the music that you use, and the small little things to me are what set videos apart. And this is like, I don't know shit about baseball, but 600 feet over the fucking fence. Whatever that means.
That's good, thanks. Okay,
I
did that once.
I get bored easy, and we've just watched a lot of it.
Same.
And but no, this is good. It captures adventure. I've watched.
It captures your attention.
I find myself a lot like we have a lot of great friends that produce a lot of good stuff, and when they're on and we watch it, it's awesome. But when it's not good, I find myself on my phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm watching this.
This video for me made me feel like I was there.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, but I'm getting it from my friends. And that's not fair, right? Okay. My brothers, my cousins, I got a lot of cousins by
I'll tell you that
We're
right
the
now.
group of people-
It felt like I was there, like heart beating when that bear was
you.
running up.
I
and then
appreciate that.
The excitement in your, I'm like, I got the chills when you had that little giggle going when you found him. Like, I get the
Like a
giggle.
little kid, you get it,
I
right?
got the giggle, yeah.
I feel like I shot the world record.
We are the group of people. We're not going to suck your ass just because you're here. Like,
Yeah.
if we thought it was shit,
With a new
we're gonna
tattoo.
Doug might suck your ass. I mean, I did say faggot on this episode. If I was worried about you being like, yeah, let's not invest in that. He's dropping LGBTQ people slurs. All right, so let's talk about this. So You go up there. It's Kodiak Island, right?
Yes.
You're on an island off of Alaska. And brown bears are, so grizzlies are lower 48, brown bears are coastal.
Right.
Yes.
That's the big
Yes.
difference. And they're bigger because they're coastal bears.
Yes. And if I say something that is not perfectly correct, your viewers will let you know. So I apologize ahead of time.
We do it on every
Obviously,
episode.
Sam right there, who's a friend of mine now. We've been hunting together for 12, 14 years. Actually just invited me to go shoot an elephant and a leopard. So
I love that.
I had to turn it down. I'm going hunting with him to Manitoba.
Oh, awesome.
Go figure. But anyway, he explained it to us that since the Ice Age, that's one of the few or the only animals left that the DNA has not changed and not been interrupted in any chain along the way, because it is an island and there's never been another bear introduced there.
Oh.
That's cool.
Which is
that's cool.
When I stood there and I tell you it looked like a dinosaur, they look like dinosaurs, and that might be part of that that whole thing.
Yeah.
You breaking that
Whoa.
down is kind of a mind fuck.
That's interesting.
I don't. Your viewers, somebody make
It took me a minute to compute that. But I'm like,
Let me ask you this.
Whoa.
The size of what a Kodiak brown bear would be to a grizzly in, like, say, Wyoming or Montana, what's roughly the size difference? Do you know?
Again, I'm not an expert, right?
Yeah.
But this was my fourth trip. The first trip I went was Kodiak, and I shot one at 23 yards.
Yeah.
I shot it with a gun, though, because it was the last hour proverbial story, right? Last
Anyone's
hour.
gonna
last
blame
day.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, no one blames
And it was. And the guy, and Sam says, put the bow away, grab your gun, shoot this bear. And shot him at 23 yards. And it was the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was actually probably bigger than this bear that I shot with the bow.
Like body-wise.
Body-wise, right? Just and even head-wise. But like we talked about a while ago, an antler, a deer, you can see it.
Yeah.
The skull, you can't see how big the skull
It's
is.
underneath meat and muscle and skin and hair.
So a long way around to answer your question is the point that then I shot a one on Sayou River with Sam, because you can only hunt the Kodiak Island every 4th or 5th year. I think it's a 4-year wait period. Then the 5th year you can go back. Okay. So I went to the Sayou River and I shot one, and it was bigger than the first Kodiak bear. I shot it again with a gun because we can only get 100 yards away, and it was long, but it wasn't as thick. They just weren't. They're more like the grizzly here that we know in the
more slender.
Yes, long, man. I mean, he was just really long, beautiful mount, just looks gorgeous, but not that head that's like this.
Bulk, bulk and pumpkin.
So the difference is that that just thickness, that just massive, monster of a looking animal.
Okay. So when you go up to bow hunt a big giant Kodiak brown bear, when you talk to these guys, is it like, hey man, you're going to be 20 yards? Like, do you know that? Or is it like, hey, shoot 40 or 50 and you'll be in the ballpark? Or like, what's the conversation?
Because I was there, this is my 4th trip.
Yeah.
I knew what to expect.
Yeah, right.
If we weren't getting close, we weren't shooting with a bow. But Sam, who become a friend of mine, as I said, he looked at me and he said, we're leaving the gun.
Oh,
I'm saying that with Sig Sauer.
Yeah.
The gun in the boat. I said, no, we can't do that. I said, just in case. He goes, what I'm telling you is we're shooting with a bow. And I said, okay, Sam, but it's like turkey hunting, or elk hunting. Elk would be a better example, right? You have a collar. You don't want the collar standing next to you because he's calling the elk right to you. The collar has to be behind you, right? And bring it by you. And so there is no question you are going to be probably within 30 yards, maybe within 5 or 8, and that's what people don't get. Like, why weren't you nervous? Why were you waiting? I was like, this is what you're going to do.
You were prepared for it.
If you're going to go on this hunt, there's no surprises. You're going to shoot that thing probably standing up 10 feet, 12 feet away.
Yeah, you've thought about everything that can happen.
Just everything.
I love the parallel to an elk, and it's like, but put 400 pounds of canines on it. And, oh, by the way, we're calling him in, and he wants to eat us. Right now.
I know, and I'm not.
It's the boogeyman. I'm the fucking boogeyman.
Hey, I've known you for like an hour. Your balls have to be fucking huge.
Let's see them things. Let's see them nuts. Pull them things out.
Damn, dude.
You'd be very, very depressed. You'd be unimpressed.
Moving on.
Well, I mean, you're talking about putting a tattoo on his ass. I mean,
Hey, ass
they're
nuts.
pretty big.
you're prepared. You prepare yourself,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
And I mentally, this is what's happening that I told you I didn't want to happen. I've hunted for a long time.
Yeah.
We kill a lot of nice animals. I get a lot of heart pumping. You know, you hear my breath through the mic whenever I'm shooting a deer, and it might not be even that big. So, but this you have to prepare that you are going to be up close, and just it is what it is.
It's more of like I feel like with something like this, like, so I'm in a hunting Cape Buffalo for my first time this year, spot and stock. And I think maybe it's different. It's for sure different because Cape Buffalo's not going to eat me. But
he can kill you just as quick.
But he could kill me.
But there's a lot more in one area than.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what the way I'm mentally preparing is like mentally preparing for like not the shot. Yes, I'm thinking about the shot, of course, but more the nerves with the shot. Where a whitetail, you think about getting to the point to get the shot.
Yeah.
Where with this, you got to think about to stay calm for
You're
the
going to
shot.
get your shot, and you got to stay calm. You can't think about it though. If you prep enough, I shot every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. I would shoot, from the back of the truck. I'd shoot from weird places, But I hunted enough there to know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I was not nervous, Now afterwards, when you heard that little giddy, girly kid laugh, I was shaking.
That's the only time it's acceptable, too.
Yeah, I get that. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's it's a lot of mental practice.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think mental practice is just as good. It's maybe not just as good. If you practice where you need to practice physically, when you think about a deer coming in, you're sitting in a tree stand, you're like, I hope a deer comes down this trail, I'll draw here, whatever. That mental practice is just as good as being ready to put the arrow behind the pen.
I had the pin on his forehead. I mean, I can visualize it as I'm looking in your eyes. I had the pin on his forehead. Before I pull back and I asked him, you hear me ask, how far? Because he didn't want me doing anything but concentrating on the bear. He said 40, then he said 30. I said, which is it? It's very important to me.
Right.
You heard me.
This is coming up because we're kind of watching this video in the studio as it's coming. So when you go to hunt this bear, did he know about this particular bear in advance?
No. If you went back, and you don't have to, but you saw that little cabin that we sit on?
Yep. Yeah.
That is a private land Akiak Indian tribe. That is private land. They was grandfathered in at a certain point in time. There's still a tribe that lives there, and Bucko is the guy that you see on there.
Yep.
He is one of the 3% that's left in his bloodline.
3%.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And so he leased that to put that there. He spent 6 weeks finding the perfect place to put that cabin so that he could hunt from it. It's a 14 by 16 building, that has bunk beds in it. And otherwise, we leave from there, take the boat down the lake, the end of the lake, about 3 miles, and then we spike camp about 4 miles in. That's the second part of the hunt, if you don't see one there.
Yeah.
And that is specifically set there. Across there is a canyon up there. It's about 10 miles wide. Mm-hmm. And it's all mountains up on top, and they all feed down in. And that is just it's like a funnel for whitetail.
It's a perfect location.
Perfect location. And again, since he's been there that long, and think about this, it's a float plane. He built a cabin by float planing boards and
Forget this.
We're struggling to build a studio next door.
Yeah, you kind of get how expensive. Just
effort.
Hey, we're bitching about running Menards,
Talk about passion.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
The man has passion. What do you guys said? So, well, he's emotionless. No, he's not.
He's been there before.
Been there, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So in the video, right now we're watching this. We're 17 minutes and 3 seconds in.
This is right after the sow came in.
Yeah. I thought the sow was going to screw us because, again, we were spotting across the lake. We saw a very big bear, but it had all the hair rubbed off.
Yep.
So he hits me. He says, "Do you care?" I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "I don't. I told you guys, I don't need the biggest bear in the world." Nope.
Are you sure about that? That's where that meme comes in of John Cena. Are you sure about that?
And I said, "Let's go." So we immediately, takes an hour for us to get in the boat and go across. And we got up there, and it's about 1.5 mile walk to get up to to where we can see where he was. And he wasn't there, which happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
And then we saw the sow, and the sow was acting very weird. She was posturing. She was and rolling around. I'm like, what the hell? And then I just happened to look over to the left, and I spotted movement, and I saw this bear. And what she had cubs up there. So she was actually following him to make sure he went away from the cubs.
Because he'll try to eat the cubs.
You got it. He'll eat her. I mean, they actually will eat sows.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really wild world up there.
That's insane.
And so once that he chased her away, and then it goes from there into here.
So
That's the most bizarre because they're like, he's right there, and you're like, where? Where's he at? Where is he?
all right, let me. If you want me to continue on down.
no,
this
yeah.
road,
Should I
Yeah.
play this now? Because here's what I'll do.
Go ahead.
We're listening or watching at 18 minutes 22 seconds. I'm hitting play.
Before you hit play, let me set this up. Okay.
Yeah.
You saw the bear that you had up there. That was him rolling around. He was in a creek bed, laying on his back, putting his head in the water, and he'd get up and he'd shake, and water would come off of it. They just lay around. They just
They're lazy.
they don't do anything. They have no natural predators. They just
chilling.
chill, right?
They're top of the food chain there.
Yeah,
don't
he
give
gets
a
up.
fuck.
We were 190 yards away, and I said, "Where's my gun?"
Hey,
I was
give me
ready.
that thing.
Yeah. I was
Give me
like,
that thing.
and they're like, no. And the wind was perfect. He kept going down to the lake, and we followed him. And just people are like, well, he could see you. No, they really don't have really good eyesight. He was on another side of the mountain. We were good. Wind was all anyway. And we followed him, and we were just waiting for him to go into an elder patch where he didn't come out of, because they'll just go lay down. And that's what we did. And so that's where we're at here.
Okay.
We're
18 minutes 22 seconds hitting.
Hold on, I got a question.
Go ahead.
All right. No, I'm not hitting play.
So I don't know. Obviously, I've bear hunted one time in Wyoming. Nothing similar to this. So you have to. Is smell the biggest thing you have to worry about with them? Number one.
Number one thing. So, and you'll see this here shortly, but so we sat up on the bottom side of the elder patch, which is probably 100 yards round, maybe 150 yards round. I really don't know. But we knew he never came out. And we sat Bucko up above us with a gun and another spotter there with him. Okay. And it was one of the young bucks who carries all the equipment for us, right?
The mule man.
Yeah. And he was 100 yards above us. And we walked down to the creek, crossed the creek, and we're setting up here. Now, Sam is getting excited even though he doesn't show it. And he starts calling. Now, they're using a distress call, blacktail distress call. And Bucko above us points down to me and says he's not moving. He can see the bear at this point in time in the elders. I guess he got up on all fours. And so Bucko roars like a bear. Like, okay, now not do I have a distress call. We have a roar. We have a bear there.
Challenge.
He came immediately. You saw me. I was on my knees setting up my GoPro. I wasn't even ready.
Yeah.
And I wasn't watching Bucko, but Sam was. So that sets us up now.
So I can hit play.
Is Bucko there in case shit hits the fan?
He's 100 yards away. But again, Sam is left to me. He has a gun too, as you saw in the video.
Yep.
Yeah. But
And you have a gun on you.
yes, but I'm not. The gun on me to shoot.
Camera
me.
guy's got a gun on him as well.
But he's got a camera in his hand. Yeah. When they're that close, there is no. It is.
You're
what it is.
you're in danger.
You're
zone.
hoping somebody shoots it. It's a
boogeyman.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, 18 minutes, 22 seconds. I'm hitting play right now. Bam, hit play. Rocking. 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, so this bear's coming into sight.
He goes.
How far?
40 yards, he says. And then he says 30. I said, how far? I need to know.
How fucking scary is that?
Look at the way he walks.
He goes, go. I'm like, I'll
1845.
pull back. So I pull back, and you can see my pistol there. So
Oh my God.
my pin is in between his eyes, knowing what I'm going to shoot a bear. I have
You
between
got
the
Tim
eyes.
Wells'
Oh,
ass.
he's getting the rifle ready, so you know he's getting close.
But, okay, right there. If you stopped it right there,
Crank. Okay.
he was at 12 paces. Oh. Now that bear saw us. He looked at us.
Yeah, he's
he
looking
knew
at
it was three of us standing there. Mm-hmm. He didn't care. He was coming to the call. You know, Sam never stopped calling either.
Yeah.
And he was coming to the call. And so I kept the pin on his eyes, waiting for something. And then Sam goes, you got to hit him. And I'm like, where?
Where do you hit him?
Where? Where do I hit him? In the ankle? What? This is no good.
In the
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah, don't hit him in the fucking ankle.
so I just stayed knowing that it's going to be a split second shot. And that's when your instincts for your hunt, it'll naturally
You
happen.
know when.
Just
you know.
kicks
Just
in.
naturally happen. And as Sam went like this with the gun and yelled, and I heard him put a bullet in, he put one in.
He was scared.
I knew. I said, no, don't shoot. And as that time, the bear went like this, looked up, It gave me an opening right there. And I'll be honest with you, only because of the experience that we had and so many videos that we watched and talking with Sam, he didn't want us shooting front on, but you can kill a bear, even that big front on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can. Mm-hmm. I've shot actually more animals than you probably shouldn't shoot front on. Front on.
So what do you shoot for like an arrow weight? I mean,
485.
Okay.
It's my whitetail setup.
This is Chris B type shit.
Yeah.
It's whitetail setup. I didn't change anything. I believe
broadhead
you brought
on top of it.
I shoot a rage broadhead.
Right into him.
Right into him. It buried all the way to the knock. Actually deeper than the knock. Yeah. And I believe in placement. If you got to be able to shoot your bow and hit where you're aiming. Now again, you'll see deer videos of me this year. I missed deer by this month.
Yeah, but shit happens.
He made the shot that counts.
Bear ain't gonna kill you. All right, so can I play this?
Yeah,
so we're at 19 minutes flat,
and you can tell. You can tell when he's running away.
At what point was it running down your leg?
When I told you on the video, I think I shit my pants. But
I was gonna say what, his balls or his dick?
Right here, you can tell. Watch as he gets around the corner that he's dead. You know he's dead.
19 minutes flat, hit and play right now. 3, 2, 1.
Watch his back legs. See him?
Oh, they're giving out now.
Right
They're giving out.
Dead center chest. Yep. Dead center chest.
Now you're shaking.
Now, look at that. That's it.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Now we can relax.
You're confident, you can tell.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to say it. You never want to say it
Yeah.
because.
You never know, but
I love the emotion that Sam is holding in right here.
Look
Like
at
you
it.
can
Look
see
at
it.
that
Like
face.
He looks like Ghost.
He looks
Yes.
special right
He
there.
looks ghost white, which is crazy to me. For somebody who has experienced this so much,
Yeah.
he is like, holy shit.
When I asked him later, I said, you said hit him. What do you want me to do? He goes, I thought you were frozen.
Like you locked up under the pressure.
Yeah.
so he's ghost white because he thinks.
Look at him now. See that grin?
Yeah.
That is. And he doesn't want to get excited either. He knows it's dead, but he doesn't want to say.
Yeah, that look at the camera. Right there. Well, because it'd be weird if he was like, he can't break the same way Trey Heiner is.
Yeah.
You know, he can't be like.
Right there, Sam just goes, God damn. And
Yeah. He does. And he really wanted us. He picked us as a crew, the Give and Right, because of our production. He picked us. He said, our relationship, and he said, but I want you guys to videotape it. He's 6 years older than me.
This is his last year too,
Yeah,
right?
this
So this
probably
is one
his
of his last hunts.
Oh, really?
So he wanted to document.
He said,
Be a
I love
damn
it.
good. Be a
Yeah,
damn good
he's
year
called
to
me a
end on.
dozen times to tell me thank you. This is the best,
Shout out to
best
him.
I've ever seen.
What a badass.
Shout out to Sam, yeah.
He's badass, dude. You want to do a show and do something about somebody who lives in the wilderness?
That's a dude right there.
Dude.
Oh, we need to get him down.
That
here.
look that he just did after he got done talking to you, he was like,
He did. It was close. He said, Mark, I would not normally let it get that close.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he
he
did?
would shoot it. Yeah.
You guys are all small town guys, and every time I watch that, and I've watched it probably 150 times at this point, through edits and everything. But I think back
Right
to, like,
there. See him
the
lift his
old-
head? Boom. And it hit
Smoked him.
right there. I mean, just right
Oh my gosh.
I think back to like the patriarch of the town, and you're sitting at the cafe drinking coffee with him, and you never get him to crack a smile, and then finally he cracks a smile,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
like,
Sam.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's the moment right there.
yeah.
And there's
That's the
Bucko,
moment.
another one who made a few words, but when he says something, he means it.
Yeah.
No, but he's actually a friend of mine now too. We've been on 4 hunts together. One of the best guides ever in Alaska. I mean, just truly, he roars when every bear. I mean, he's brought bears in just by roaring.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right?
okay, I got another. I'm asking a shitload of questions.
it's good.
but
No, please.
You said in the video, and this might be pushing a boundary, but you said I can't shake your hand. Is that like a?
He doesn't like to shake hands.
Okay.
And he doesn't like to touch, actually.
Okay. I didn't know.
But I said, you're giving me a hug, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He didn't go
know
to the
if it
same
was like
nursing
a-
school that you
Yeah.
did.
I didn't know if it was like a cultural thing. That was my question. I didn't know.
He's
you know.
just one of those guys. He's
He hates gays more than me.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
easy.
I don't hate them. They're good people.
I don't know
I'm
what
sure.
you're calling me is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, no. Hey, I might be calling
What's
you
the
gay.
insinuation here?
Hey, if it means that I'm not kissing your ass, you're gay.
Dude, that's so crazy.
What a hunt, dude. That's the way this is filmed is
Yeah, shout out to our crew, man. We've got such a great team, and
They killed it.
Zach Krajewski's right there behind. That was the
there's
shooter,
Zach.
and he's done great work for us, and actually knows a bunch of your buddies.
At what point? At what point did he shit his pants?
He told me, he said, Mark, I'd have ran.
See, that's what's scary about that, because the camera's not putting like it gives it justice, but you don't know how close it really was. You know, like that's what's crazy.
Unfortunately,
That's as close as you shoot whitetails.
Yeah, he was supposed to be 80. Sam required him to be 80 to 100 yards behind us.
The cameraman.
The
No
camera
kidding.
guy.
Yeah.
But it happened so quick.
Oh, he
Zach
was that
just
far
followed-
when he filmed.
No, he was right over the shoulder. He snuck in.
He
snuck
just
in.
followed me down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He just did it.
If he were, and I hate to say it this way because it turned out perfectly. If he were on my left hand side, you would see how close that bear was.
Oh.
You would see the arrow go in. He was just down in a little dip,
Right,
indentation. So,
Yeah.
and then this is a pretty freaky time right here.
Yeah, how freaky.
This
Well, 'cause those-
this was worse than the actual shot.
Yeah, because those elders or
Yeah.
elderbrush, that's like
Is it just thick?
entangled, nasty,
Yeah,
thick.
yeah.
shit
You can hardly walk
hardly
through it,
walk
but they
through.
can run through it.
That's crazy. Like,
He comes running out of there right now. It doesn't matter what he has in his
you're
hand.
dead.
We're dead.
Yeah.
Or somebody's getting run
Yeah.
over. One or two.
Oh my gosh!
But look at the view. Look at that view.
Wow.
It's epic.
Our cabin is directly across from there.
On the other side of the lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
No kidding.
wow.
What dreams are made of.
So we're
Yeah,
at minute 24:22 on this. Wow.
And that was our third bear together. Bucko.
It's your third hug.
Yeah, third hug.
Fourth one, you got to probably marry him up there, I guess.
Dude, in Alaska? Yeah.
and-
There, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got down here, I got to tell you guys, you kill a big buck. We killed a beautiful buck again this year, beautiful 10 point. And I got down, I was like, my God, you can't explain the feelings that are running through you. The adrenaline, you could, like I said, you could bottle it and sell it. You'd be a billionaire,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
This animal here is just different from anything you've ever seen when you get down to that. They are true. You can see the hole where it is.
Right
Smoke.
there. No.
It's crazy how little their eyes are for how big
They can't
their
see
body
very
is.
well.
Well, yeah, that's,
They don't
Dude,
see
they've
very
got like basketballs.
I would have. I would.
that head is as big as your chest.
Yeah, man.
I couldn't hardly. I mean, they're true dinosaurs. People just don't realize they don't get to have this experience, and everybody should have this experience, whether it be on a hunt or just
With a
in life
buddy
in
or
general or doing something. You should have that experience.
If I walked up on that, I would drop
Look at
kick
the
that
teeth.
bow.
Look how, like, to your hand, how big its jaw
Give me the
is.
375.
How much did that bear weigh? Do you have any idea?
They're estimating right at about 1,100.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Which is a spring bear.
Which
Like,
is a
that's-
spring bear. They go in at 14, 15, 1,600.
Holy
so by the time
shit.
you're done feeding-
Depends on, obvious, just like a deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that bear would have been 1,600 for sure.
He's a big boy, and he's young.
Really?
That's
Very
more than
young. You see the
everyone-
teeth on that thing? It's young. It's not
Like
that
how
old.
young?
Look at the paw.
What age did they put on?
He said it might be 8 or 9 years old, and they lived to 20, 22, 24 years old.
Wow.
But at that point, do they pretty much have their frame, like their
Like,
head
what is it?
size?
Yeah, what is
do-
skull?
I
gotten bigger?
don't know that. That's what I'm saying. I told you earlier about how big they look.
Yeah.
And you don't know how until you skin it all down. I would have never said this was as big as the first one I shot, but it was more than an inch bigger. The skull.
Wow. An inch is massive.
Massive on a
bears.
skull. Yeah.
And
yeah.
people who don't know, if you see like an 18-inch black bear to a 20-inch black bear, it looks like a different species.
Yeah, that's just incredible difference.
It's not
right?
like deer where it's like, oh, it's 2 inches. No, skulls.
Yeah.
You don't understand until you see it. Like a 20-inch black bear is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Very well put.
You know,
what was yours, Doug?
I have a way with words.
Oh, we don't even know yet.
Like
Yeah, we don't even know
Where's
Toppers
my
was
skull yet?
Toppers was just shy of 20, right?
Just shy of 20. I bet your bear's got to be
That's big
20
bear.
or
Mine
just
might
shy
be
of 20.
20.
That's a big bear.
I bet he's high 19 if he's not 20.
That's
And this
really-
fucker's 29 and 4/16. Just put that to your mind.
So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like I said earlier, I don't really need the notoriety. You know, I'm doing this because of you guys.
We're so cool that you have to come here.
Stop. But
You're too cool
you know,
for us.
it is just. Look at that thing.
God.
That is unfathomable, dude. You can't even think about that.
And nobody would know about it except we're doing this and we did the show. But that's what I said earlier about having somebody there to
The head right
This
here.
right
to
here.
show other
Show
people.
This
Look
is a
at
shot for me that's like,
Look at
Look
that
at
thing.
that. Oh my goodness.
Dude, when I saw that angle of that throwing the head on your pack,
How big? Then it gets a.
that is
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so you're back at base camp taking measurements.
I was having a drink, didn't even think about the measurements. It never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
What we're drinking, Crown.
Crown.
Crown's a drink.
Somehow we ended up with a bunch of tequila shots in our photo folder. I'm not sure what happened.
How did that
You
happen?
know, Zach had that because he was doing shots for one of
there
his
you
friends
go.
who owns a tequila company.
There you go.
All the
I was
camera
like, how
guys.
did these tequila photos end up in the middle of a brown barrel?
He's drinking regular Crown. Are we talking Crown?
Just a regular old Crown. I'm a Jim Beam, Jack Daniels type guy.
Okay.
I'm,
Jim
I'm
Beam.
very low level, you know. Yeah.
Jim
So-
B, my guy.
After multiple measurements, the guys realized the bear had a green score matching that of the archery world record at 29 and 4/16 inches.
Holy fuck.
29 and 4/16.
As rudimentary as that camp is, we had Starlink because he has a lot of high end customers coming in.
Yeah, you gotta have.
And he has to still conduct business while he's there.
Yeah, he's working.
Okay. And so we were texting Layden, hey, what is the record? You know?
Yeah, I looked it up and I went, "Hold, stop! Everything you're doing, stop right now!" And they're like, "What?" And we're gonna put some pictures. I said, "Do not put pictures up." Of course, my history. I come from North American whitetail, so we live that life every day.
Yeah.
And I said, "You don't understand the magnitude of what has just happened." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "If that score is right, that ties the Pope and Young world record Alaskan brown bear." And they're like, "Whoa, wait a second."
Holy
Hey, wait. Time out.
But I'll be honest,
Yeah.
again, I shrugged my shoulders. That's cool. That experience that you saw where I walked up on that bear, I don't care what it scored.
Yeah.
That experience is ingrained.
Yeah, you didn't know when you put the
deeply
arrow
into my
in it that
head.
he's going to be the record.
No clue.
Hey,
no clue.
again, the giggle told it all.
Yeah, right. I mean,
It's all in the giggle.
Yeah.
I told
29
them
and 4/16 inches.
amongst
That
the
is
other 20 to
insane.
30 things I told them I would or wouldn't do when we did the show was that I said I can't act.
Yeah.
You get one shot at this. You will not say, okay, Mark, can you repeat this or reenact this? It won't happen.
No.
You get one shot, that's it. I'm done.
Love it. I love it.
So-
They're gonna know you're acting.
You know what ours would be? A bunch of bleeping.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Right?
Yeah, that's what it's
That's
about.
part of the
Yeah.
excitement.
We'd make a terrible TV show.
That's probably why you're on a podcast.
We're on a podcast. So when you see like, oh, it could be because it's just you're happy no matter what. You're drinking Crowns. 29 and 4/16. Layden's like, yo, dude, you might be like potential world record. What are you like? What?
Ask him. I just say, that's your department.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be, I'm just being me.
Yeah, he's living in the moment. I've been in camp with him, and when good things happen to him, like he's one of the boys, man, and he's living in the moment.
Just might drink a little
like
more.
he's just taking it in.
Yeah, I don't need to, if it's 5/16 or 6, what? I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care. If
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a half inch bigger than the world. I don't.
You already shot it.
I
That's what it is.
did
Yeah.
what I want finally
Yeah.
because I was like,
Yeah.
66. You think I can still do this at 66 or 67? I was really, contemplating that, and I didn't care.
That's where I was
Be
going.
honest. I'm being just very frank.
Yeah.
Is it cool? Sure, but it's not.
It doesn't
That's
make
not
or
what it's
break it
about.
for
No.
you. Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. No, I
No,
respect that.
what lit him up was that he checked that box.
Yeah.
You could hear
Yeah.
it in his voice.
So
The second he did it, like he was geeking
I said,
about it.
Leighton, that's up to you. Do what you want to with it.
But you know what I love
kill it
about
with
it?
a bow.
You got to have your boys gas you up.
yeah, man.
Because it's like if Doug or Eric or Austin or Ross or Lee or whoever does something cool,
Yeah.
you got your boys can gas you up.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because it's weird if you're like record holders, like, no, dude, this
No,
guy right here.
You
yeah.
don't know what you just did.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, your boys
Yeah.
have to gas you up.
And this situation, like
It's gas up worthy.
We all love whitetails, but somebody said earlier, whitetail's not going to eat you. And just like everything that went into
Yeah.
this bow and arrow, and it's bow hunters, man. Like, a perfect example. Launched a video. It goes live on the 27th, 28th. I'm floating around through the comments in YouTube, and people are starting to comment, and it just always makes me chuckle when it goes back to talking about the community of bow hunters, and like, we razz each other. We're boys,
Right.
we're
Yeah.
having fun. But then you get the haters. Here come the haters.
Oh, here they go.
And this dude was a trad bow hunter, and he went the complete opposite way. We've had a lot of hate mail over bears over the.
People get weird about bears and African animals.
Yeah. And he,
African, I can almost see bears. Seriously?
yeah,
It's because every kid's got a teddy bear, man.
That's why.
You're the second person who said that.
The Lion King, fucked us for African animals.
oh yeah,
I hated my teddy
that's
bear.
true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Hey, try shooting a giraffe. No one will give you shit at all.
Why would you shoot a giraffe? Never mind.
They're too
Yeah, is that-
friendly.
yeah.
I don't like how friendly they are.
That's what I said. Shoot or drive, no one will give you shit at all.
But you know, it's funny is like we were preparing for a CNN moment.
Yeah.
When Eric killed that giraffe, I'm like, we gotta get our clip-on ties ready. I gotta get my neck tattoos done. Gotta go in there and talk to the libs.
How big a pool table do I want?
Yeah, I'm about to say faggot on national television.
3 times. 3 times.
Little Cecil the Lion moment.
Setting records. So what this trad guy say?
The trad guy, which man, like I told him in the comment, I don't normally reply back. I just stay out of it, and all that fun stuff. Kenneth
Lancaster does that. Oh yeah, he nices them to death.
Our founder of the show, man, he just gets into them, and loves it, eats it up. He'll spend half his night doing it, and I don't. And this guy's like, man, he's like, anybody can pick up a compound bow and hit a target from 100 yards. Compound bow hunting's not.
I read it
real.
3 times. I'm like, did he just say what I thought he said? Did he watch the video?
Yeah, and I was like, love you, buddy. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mark would be the first person to pat you on the back and say you're awesome and appreciate you being a trad bow hunter. But, bow hunting success rates would tell you that you're statistically wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Very wrong.
You know what you do?
Very wrong.
You hit him with this emoji, the rock on emoji, and then just
let him go.
This. Thanks for your engagement.
Yeah,
You know how many
that's where I went.
how many passwords I have to anything that goes on the internet? They won't let me.
Yeah. We keep them off
I just don't pay attention anymore. Kenneth takes care of all the haters.
I love that.
That's how Josh with Midwest Whitetail is. Like, he's like, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video and making a comment.
Glad you're miserable in your own life.
You got to kill him with kindness, man.
Yeah, that's where it's at, man.
I love that, dude. That's so badass.
Congrats.
I appreciate it.
I love how passionate you are, man, and like your energy is it's infectious, and I think you can tell with our vibe of like we're all laughing and joking.
I appreciate that very much. Even if you're bullshitting me, I appreciate it.
No, I'm not. I'm not
good at it.
I see that. Yeah.
I've only done this 651 times, so I'm pretty good at bullshitting. But
I can't believe you did one before me, a podcast before me.
hey, we're here for everybody.
I don't have very many feelings, but that hurt it.
You know what? You got here late.
My ass. I had to walk your walkway 3 or 4 times. I'm like,
You had fun. Food's over pretty good at the depot.
actually,
huh?
pretty good. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I told him that quesadilla, steak quesadilla, needed a warning. It's too big.
To let you know, our buddy Todd Anderson says that steak quesadilla is good luck.
Oh, really?
That's his hunting season.
Next
food.
week we're going to.
Did you eat one last year? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
What'd you have at the old Mexican joint before you killed this bear?
Yeah.
You have a quesadilla?
Yeah, sure.
The depot quesadillas are good luck.
They're big.
Depot. So I got to fly all the way here, come all the way here, have something before you go hunting.
Hey, we didn't say it.
You're killing me.
But
Then
might
you
have-
can be the first one on the podcast because you're right across the
Hey, there
street.
you go. We'll do quesadillas.
Why
at
don't I
lunch.
just set up over there? You guys probably there now.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity here in New Windsor.
Well, I appreciate you guys. This was very enjoyable.
No,
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys
appreciate
making the
you
effort to
coming.
come to us. Like we talked in the beginning, like we've really put our effort into like making an experience out of this podcast over a Zoom call or a phone call or we want people to come and have an experience and think about what hunting podcasts could be in a different light than what they normally are. Because we've done a lot of other podcasts and we see what goes on in the podcast scene, and we're trying to shift the pendulum to make it. We want to be like the Conan. We want to be the late night of what podcasts are. You have to do WCB to have a fun conversation and have this experience.
Well, this was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it really was. You guys do a great job. It's a great setup here.
As
We hope to
guys
have you
in the
back.
media business,
I can get my hair cut now?
I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
I've got your hair. I've got your hair. Yeah, the hair loft is what it used to be called.
The check will be in the mail.
Yeah. But in the media world, it's weird. It's a weird
It is,
space,
man.
right?
But you guys have put thought into it, man. You got strategy, and I think that's what make the world goes around in the outdoor industry. A lot of guys just see like, oh man, I got a camera, and you guys are shooting deer and great, and with YouTube and the low barrier to entry, there's so much more going on, and there's so many more producers, but to have a strategy and a thought process beyond the next 12 months, you guys are, you're thinking about the audience, you're thinking about our industry, and we appreciate you for doing that.
Yeah, well,
you.
we thank you, man, for what you guys do, and the positive attitudes and the effort of being here. The effort of being here, it's every time someone comes in studio, the Chase Nation guys drive down, you guys flying in and driving over to us, and everyone, Jimmy John flying a fucking helicopter into our studio. Like, what the fuck is happening to us, dude?
I'm telling you, I don't know him greatly, but I know him enough that we talk on the phone, and he is badass.
He's the best.
He is badass, crazy, in a cool ass type of way.
Yeah. Dude, we honestly can't believe like the things that are happening to us. Like the fact that Waddell is texting me like while we're recording and bullshit. Give you, it's like
it's weird.
It's hard to wrap your head around, and we're so grateful that the listeners have opened up the doors for this opportunity for us, you know, and the studio. And we'll show you the addition for you take off what we're working on, and that's going to allow us to do a lot more. And it's unbelievable. And what you guys are doing is unbelievable.
I appreciate it.
And I'm looking forward to the start of great friendships with you guys with this, and having you guys back on more.
Yeah, have you back.
Let's go hunt
talk
together.
about the bear.
Hopefully Layden will kill something, and we can do a podcast with Layden.
Hey, once you kill like a bear that goes 29 and 5/16.
Yeah,
The bar has been set high.
Yes.
Thanks, Mark.
If you guys want to come back, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
I appreciate
Hey,
it.
you could
thanks,
kill
I
like a
appreciate
record
that.
javelina.
Yeah, man. I'm
And
down.
we'll set the
It's got to be a
Red
record
fox
number.
squirrel.
red fox.
Red
squirrel.
fox squirrel.
It's
That's
gotta
my
be a
boat.
record.
I'm in.
Yeah, we'll do this.
Appreciate it.
We'll do it again. Thank you so much. Where can people find you guys?
Dude, so Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Now we're working on YouTube coming down, man. We've got everything going on. We've got the production company. Aside from TGR, we've got 8 other shows that we produce in the industry. So we got a lot going on. And what he didn't tell you is that he also is a very, very, very involved owner in Expedition Archery, Element Outdoors, Titan Blinds, Reveal Trail Cameras, several.
Failed to mention that, huh?
Yeah, he failed to mention.
Yeah, I was trying to get it there, but he wouldn't go with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to go too far with it.
Yeah, I know you did.
We have about 7 or 8 companies in the outdoor industry that I just thrive with, love to do. So
I was trying to get you there without being too plugged.
I know, but
He did a good job. He's ambitious, man, and it's contagious with our whole team. You know, no matter the company, and I think it's very cool being a guy. Yes, he signs my paychecks. Disclaimer, but it's very cool watching a guy like that that's involved daily, that is supposed to be semi-retired and doesn't have to do this, but he loves it, man.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's apparel or the bows. Like every time a prototype bow comes out, he's putting arrows through it before anybody else. So it's good stuff.
That's awesome.
Bingo.
It's good stuff.
Motivating.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Anybody? Doug, what do you got, brother?
Tattoo
thanks for-
boy.
Oh, that butt.
Not yet.
And do not send me a picture.
We're going
I do
live.
not want. Oh, you're going live?
July 20th, we're going live on the tattoo.
You're getting the full spread.
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
I'm not sure.
and get this. I made
You
the
see the
bet.
Kodiak bear.
I won't be here for the tattoo because I'll be in Decorah.
Oh, you'll be
man,
up in
stop
my
in
area.
and see us. Yeah, stop in and see us.
Hey, so watch it on the live, Eric.
I'll watch on the live.
Doug says you're going to see a real Kodiak
I would
bear. That's funny, dude. That's a funny joke. That's a funny fucking joke.
I'm not sure I want to see that live because you can't unsee it. If I watch it and then can stop it when I want to.
I think
Potential world
in the
record.
gay community, bear's a term, and you just revealed yourself,
I
brother.
didn't know this.
No, send
I
up
thought you said you had a girlfriend.
I ain't gay.
Lee, what do you got?
send up in Decor. We all got to watch it.
I don't want to say
together.
that again.
Easy. All right.
Hey, I'll bring the crowd.
We'll blur it. Lee, what do you got? Cult leader?
Dude, that has to be one of the most fun episodes I've been on. Like, the story was insane. It's fucking mind blowing to me
Thank
that you
you.
shot that
I
thing at
appreciate
12 fucking steps, man. Like,
It wasn't an option. I'm being honest.
yeah, man. I know you were worried about like over bragging yourself and all that stuff, but like you explained like how you got where you are. Like it's not like you lucked. Well, it's
lucked into it.
Yeah, but luck is when preparation, whatever the
Hard work meets
hard work and
opportunity.
preparation meets opportunity.
Yep.
So like, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it.
So cool to hear you tell your story. Hopefully we changed your damn mind about being on podcasts. Well, one
You gotta
podcast.
come back.
One podcast. I've only done one. This is it.
gotta
Might be the
come
last
back.
one.
Hey, I can say the open now. Home of the world record brown bear podcast.
Oh, you know what? I'm claiming it.
Yeah, there you go.
We're claiming it. We're
There
taking
you
it.
go.
We're buying it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's us. We're making t-shirts.
Hey, we'll sell it to you.
Hey, what's up? You want to buy it?
But yeah, just appreciate
Call
you
him.
coming
Yeah.
in, man.
Don't worry, guys.
I
You
just
got
want
it
to
protected.
hunt. I just
We're
want to
good.
shoot. I don't want to do any work. I just want to shoot things.
I love it. Eric, what you got, buddy?
No, man, thanks for coming in. Thanks both you guys
Yeah,
for
appreciate
coming in,
it.
coming down and stuff. And you guys aren't far away, so let's do it again.
Yeah,
You come to Decorah, call me. We'll drink Jim Beam.
I want to drink Pseudo Sue, baby. Over
They
at Top
have a
Window
lot of
Live.
that. Yeah, they're good at it too.
one of the best breweries in the country.
Jim Beam and
Right across the street. We are right across.
Yeah. Oh, I'm stopping there when we go on our anniversary. I'm telling you, you guys better be there.
Let me know. Be there.
Hey,
I'm
Jim,
in.
Jim Beam and root beer. Oh, damn.
Root beer.
Yeah, root beer's the move.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
That's what I heard.
That sounds a little Midwest for me, though. I don't know.
You gotta get in that PA stuff. Just put creek water and
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
Real
Come
stuff.
on.
mountain mist.
Some rotten watermelon in there.
Watermelon holler.
Or we just add some moonshine to it.
Oh, all right.
Thank you guys. You know what I
Got
got?
it.
Go shoot your bow. We love you. See you next week. Peace.